Good morning, everybody. It's Miss Lindsay. I hope you're having a great day. It is Thursday, and we are going to be learning how to make a bar graph today. How exciting! And it is one of our favorite lessons when we do it together at school, so hopefully we can have some fun with it this way too. Before we learn how to make a bar graph, let us just travel back in time and remember what a graph is and why we use them. So, I drew this. A graph is basically a drawing that shows information with lines, shapes, or colors. So I drew a couple of different kinds of graphs here. We're mostly going to be learning bar graphs today, but I thought it'd be cool to show you one of the graphs I've been using a lot lately. This is just an example. So every week, your teachers get kind of a report of the different websites that you guys are using. So I drew a pretend one. So this is my internet use. So this picture shows just real quick what kind of stuff I've been doing on the internet. So the yellow says that website is Go Noodle Kitty High Five. That's a lot of time on Kitty High Five. And then some of my time I've been doing Google Docs. That's good. Epic and Morning Meeting. So this graph might let me know Lindsay's looking at Kitty High Five too much. But also lets me know what sites you've been using. It's pretty cool. So that's one graph we've been using. But today we're going to be making bar graphs. And I was thinking, well, usually we ask each other questions and we collect data because the first step of this involves collecting information. But that's a little tricky. So let's work with something you have around your house. You may have a handful of loose change. You may have a handful of Skittles or M&Ms or different colored beads. All of those would work. I'm going to be using M&Ms because I like reasons to eat candy. So I'm going to draw a handful of these M&Ms. I'm not going to eat them until I'm done making my graph, even though, oh goodness, I love them. All right, so I got a handful. I'm going to lay them out and see which colors I got. Okay, so I got 5 green. Collecting my data here. That's what this part's called. I got 5 green, 5 orange, 3 red, 3 yellow, 3 brown, and 2 blue. Okay, so I could hand somebody a card that says, these are the M&M colors that I drew. 5 green, 5 orange, 3 red, 3 yellow, 3 brown, or 2 blue. Or I could make a bar graph because it's going to be a lot easier for them to see that information. Okay, so first, our bar graph is going to need a title. Because if I don't put a title, somebody is going to look at that and think, oh, that's a really nice bar graph, but they're not going to know what I'm showing them. So I'm showing them which M&M candy colors I drew. So here, on this line here on the bottom, I drew 2 lines. One going side to side, that's our x-axis. One going top to bottom, that's our y. So on the x-axis, I'm going to write the different colors. I'm going to try to space them out a little bit. Blue, red, orange, okay, stop the video for a second just so that you wouldn't have to listen to me count out colors and watch me draw lines. But I've got this all set up now. So we've got our title, M&M candy colors. If you're using Lego, yours will be Lego colors. Or if you're using change, it can be what coin did I draw? But your title goes at the top. Then down here, the different colors that I could have picked of M&Ms, I put down here. So brown, yellow, orange, blue, red, and green. And then here, I have the numbers of how many I could have picked. So now I'm ready to fill in my bar graph with the data that I collected earlier. So after you finish drawing your bars to connect, you should have something like this. So now that we have our graph, it's a lot easier than just reading the information. Our brain can look at this and see a lot of information really quickly. For instance, we can see, well, which colors did I draw the most of? Well, I can look at this graph really quick and tell you, well, I grabbed a lot of green. I sure did. I grabbed a lot of orange, too. Delicious. We could say, what did Lindsay grab the least of? And you'd say, well, blue. Delicious. What color did I draw the same exact number? Which colors all had 3? Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Brown, yellow, and red. So this is why we use graphs. We use it to make things a lot easier for our brain to process a lot of information quickly. We can compare. We can say things that are alike, things that are different. I'm still eating M&Ms. Delicious. And so this bar graph really shows me exactly what happened. So when you're doing your follow-up, the first thing you're going to do is pick the object that you're going to grab a handful of. So pick whether it's candy, coins, Lego, pick what you're going to be doing. Then you're going to take a handful and collect your data. So that'll just be taking a piece of scratch paper and writing down how many of each thing you got, just like I did with the M&M. So I got 5 green, 5 orange, and I wrote that down before I started my graph. Before I did anything, all I did was think of what I was collecting, and then I collected that data, that information. Then I began to make my graph. Put the title at the top so that people would know what the heck they were looking at. Because otherwise, this is just a bunch of bars and you wouldn't even know, like, colors of what? Colors of pants? Colors of sandwiches? That doesn't make sense. You need a title to know what's going on in your graph. Then I constructed my graph by putting which colors I collected on the x-axis. And then I made a number grid. Now, if you have graph paper at home, it makes this part really, really easy. You can also print it off of printablepaper.net. They've got free graph paper. If you don't have graph paper, do what I did and just do the best you can, making a grid as even as you can. I know we're at home and we're all just making the best out of what we have. So, after you make your graph and color it in, show it to a friend or a family member and see if they're able to read the data you collected. And you might be able to ask them certain questions like, which did I get the least of? Which did I get the most of? How many more blue M&Ms did I have than brown? Or whatever questions you can think of to get them thinking about your graph. So, graphs are pictures that show mathematical information in a way that is easy for our brains to look at and think about. If you have any questions about how to do this, please reach out to me, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.